Welcome to another episode of
The Epic Family Road Trip.
In last week's episode of the Epic Family Road Trip, after exploring the giant sand dunes of Amargosa, we began our adventure in Death Valley. We explored the remains of old mining boom towns, abandoned gold mine shafts, and drove the incredible Titus Canyon Trail.
Hey guys, I just want to take a minute on this week's video to talk about one of the questions we get asked the most, which is, how do you generate and store power when you're off the grid, when you're way out in these remote places? Well, the answer to that question is this. This is the Jackery 1500. We charge this up. This is a storage unit. We charge it up with 4 100-watt solar panels. And on a bright sunny day like today, it will charge up in a matter of 3 to 4 hours, up to 100%. And then we can power almost everything we have. It has 3 USBs. 2 of them are the standard USBs, but they're powerful. They're 3.0s, and 1 is a USB-C. And then we have 4 standard AC power outlets and 1 DC 12-volt outlet. So this is a very capable unit. In terms of weight and size, you are obviously a little bigger than the 500 that we normally have. It's a little heavier, it takes up a bit more space, but for us, it's definitely worth that compromise because we can power so many units at one time and so many devices. You've seen in our videos, we've been using them for a couple of years now. We've never had a problem. They've stood up to all kinds of weather and so on. So we're very, very happy with the Jackery. Hope that answers your question about power storage and generation. Now back to this week's video.
In this week's episode, we make it to the end of Titus Canyon and head into the desert to look for a place to camp for the night.
All right, so we just finished coming through Titus Canyon and we're now back on pavement. That was an epic drive, I must say. Now we're heading up through the middle of Death Valley. It's really hot. We've got the AC on and we're still sweating.
Along our trail, we stop at the Ubehebe crater. The Ubehebe crater is half a mile wide and 777 feet deep. It is estimated that the crater is 2,000 to 7,000 years old. This was a fascinating sight to see. We are heading to Lippincott Mine Road, where we will find a camp for tonight. Along the way, we stopped at the Tea Kettle Junction. It has become a tradition over the years for visitors to attach tea kettles to this sign. Our last stop on the way to Lippincott Trail was at this famous playa or dry lake bed known as the racetrack.
So we're down here at a place called the Racetrack, and really what it is a dry lake bed. And when it rains really hard in the mountains, the water will rush down over here and bring a whole bunch of light silt with it, and it actually turns into a very shallow lake for a short period of time, and then it drains into the ground and you're left with this silt dry lake bed. It's kind of fun to walk out here. It is perfectly flat and it's in the shape of an oval. They call it the Racetrack because from the sky it looks like a racetrack. Turned off the road we were on, onto what's called the Lippincott Trail or Lippincott Road, and it is a single track, fairly technical. We're heading up into the pass. The sun is starting to set, so we're going to look for a campground. Found a beautiful camp spot. We're super excited. We're gonna spend the night up here overlooking this view. It's so far, this whole trip to Death Valley has just been mind-boggling how beautiful it is. We're super glad we came. Tomorrow we take that little trail down there all the way down the mountain and then into the valley.
Comes and goes.
Now that's an easy tent setup. Wow, I'm liking that. I just gotta get that strap off of there, but man, that's easy. Just as easy to put down too. These are the CVT mount hoods. They're a clamshell style. We've only slept in them 2 nights, I think now. This will be our 3rd. We love them. They're a bit less ground space than the tents we had before, but lots of headroom on this side of the tent. So you can sit up comfortably, you can kneel, you can almost stand, and it's a really comfortable sleep. I'm 6'4" and I stretch out comfortably, so we're loving them so far. And the best thing is the ease of opening and closing. So you can do it as one person can do it rather than 3.
Alright, so that sound that you guys are hearing is the auxiliary tank, long range fuel tank. You can see it right there. And that has come in handy, especially today. We were completely empty and I just clicked the little button and boom, we got another full tank. So it'll be good for tomorrow morning.
But quite may this be a sweet fire with me, till morning finds home again. Time this could be.
Once camp was set up, we made dinner as the sun set in the distance and enjoyed the breathtaking view all around us.
We made tacos today. Perfect, quick dinner after a long day on the trail. You cannot beat it.
This morning, we will be tackling the steep switchbacks of Lippincott Mine Trail that meander down the mountain into Saline Valley.
Yeah.
This is a pretty technical spot. Crawl over it slow.
Okay. You're good.
Saline Valley is in the northern Mojave Desert and is about 27 miles in length. It is home to large dry lake beds, salt marshes, sweeping sand dunes, oases, hot springs, and endless beauty in every direction.
Down Saline Valley Road. You're going to want to air down in here. It's corduroy most of the way. We just came out of the much more rocky area. It really makes me think back in the day how the settlers would have traveled through here. I mean, the rocks are so thick back there you can barely walk, let alone take a wagon train, but they must have been tough people.
During our drive through the valley, it definitely got quite hot outside, and it's only April. In the summer, temperatures often top 120 degrees Fahrenheit in the shade, with overnight lows in the 90s. The world record highest air temperature of 134 degrees Fahrenheit or 57 degrees Celsius was recorded at Furnace Creek in the park on July 10, 1913.
Looks like we're getting close to the warm springs, and it's a bit of an oasis right in the middle of the hot, dry desert. Palm trees and greenery.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Death Valley is famous as the hottest place on Earth and the driest place in North America.
So we're now at the top of Steel Pass. We drove about 3 hours through a wash all the way up here. It's amazing how far away the mountains are. They look a lot closer than they are. But yeah, we climbed up the side of the pass here. It was a few technical spots, and now we're up top, and it's the climate has changed big time. It's a lot cooler up here. The geology of this incredible place was mind-blowing, and it was amazing driving through and past these towering rock faces and formations.
Straight out.
At the end of the trail, we saw in the distance the Eureka Sand Dunes. The dunes are located in the northernmost corner of Death Valley National Park and lie in the heart of Eureka Valley. The Eureka Sand Dunes are known as the tallest sand dunes in California and possibly the tallest in North America. We were mesmerized by this unique landscape, and it almost felt like we were driving on another planet. There is so much left to see and do in this incredible part of the country, and we can't wait to be back. But now we are heading to the Alabama Hills and Lone Pine, California. Stay tuned for next week's episode where we spend a few days exploring this unreal place. Next time on the Epic Family Road Trip.
And in the meantime,
We'll see you down the road.
On the telephone, 'cause we've no idea when we're coming home.